Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the 26th April edition of the Blue Brand, as well as the wildest wrestling news stories you need to know, including rumor that Cody Rhodes injured on Smackdown, is Nick Khan unloading his TKO stock, WWE Draft Results, why did Roman Reigns withdraw from the draft, good news for Dominik Mysterio, Chris Benoit drafted to Raw, and more. As always, we won't recap the matches, but look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. The good: Carlito heel turn. Carlito attacked Dragon Lee? Well, tonight's revelation was anything but surprising. It's a much-needed move for the Latino World Order, which has been steadily sinking on SmackDown with repeated losses to Legado del Fantasma. The idea to elevate Joaquin Wilde, Zelina Vega, and Cruz del Toro by teaming them with Rey Mysterio looked great on paper, but it's been bungled from the start. Everyone in the faction can work, but they've had little direction, other than Zelina Vega's brief moment in the spotlight when she wrestled Rhea Ripley at last year's Backlash. With any luck, Carlito's mic skills will jumpstart the LWO with a fresh feud. KO Bloodline Brawl. Kevin Owens was eager for revenge for Tama Tonga playing Demolition Derby with him last week, which led to a ferocious fight. Wrestling fans love brawls, and it's been a while since the WWE Universe saw an out-of-control clash on TV. What made this Donnybrook so devastating was that it began in the backstage area and continued out in the arena during the segment between Damage Control and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, which made it feel organic. Adding Randy Orton to the fracas at the right moment only increased excitement. Stratton's sensational push. Tiffany Stratton's push continues, and it's difficult to recall the last time a superstar received such a strong push so early in their career. While there's always the risk of the fans turning on a wrestler when they're pushed this much, it doesn't seem to be a problem. Stratton hasn't disappointed so far, and some fans have to wonder if Stratton will indeed become the center of the universe by defeating WWE Women's Champion Bayley. The only downside to Tiff's push is that the WWE has to maintain it, or she'll look like another flash in the pan. The bad: another dud draft. Tonight's draft was another dud, a reminder that the show is nothing but a dog and pony show set up to boost ratings, much like Raw Homecomings and other special editions of the Red and Blue brand. Tonight's draft saw no major moves as top stars remained on their home brand. Smackdown was also a weak show with no reason for casual fans tuning in for the draft to want to come back next week. Very mid Cody AJ contract signing. Cody Rhodes' undisputed world championship reign is off to a bad start, and tonight's contract signing did nothing to help create any excitement for the Cody AJ Backlash bout. Short of a catastrophic lack of judgment, the WWE isn't putting the title on Styles, and the fans know it. WWE has done nothing to make fans think otherwise by creating the illusion that the title might change hands, nor has it created any excitement for the match by Styles insulting Cody or attacking him. Curiously, WWE even had Cody downplay that this is a dream match, as the two have never fought each other, with Rhodes saying, "This isn't a dream match, but a must-win." If this sloppy booking continues, don't be too surprised to hear the boo birds flying into WWE arenas. The downright ugly. Nothing ugly, but an incredibly average show. Night one of the draft was as predictable as Eric Bischoff complaining about Tony Khan. The WWE needs to rethink the draft, and it's surprising that Triple H is booking it so badly. Rumor: Cody injured on SmackDown? Topping today's news is a rumor that Cody Rhodes may have been injured on SmackDown during his bout against Carmelo Hayes. Remember that this story has not been confirmed, and, as you'll see, Rhodes may have been just selling the apparent fumble. Essentially, Sports is reporting, during one of the spots, Rhodes was stunned, and his opponent ran to one of the ropes to perform an aerial attack. The champion ran in the opposite direction to deliver a Cody cutter. The botched timing didn't allow Hayes to catch his opponent midair, and Cody Rhodes bounced shoulder first on the wrestling mat. In the clip shared on Twitter by the source reporting the injury rumor, we can see Cody Rhodes holding his shoulder and reacting in pain. Although this could have been done to highlight the spot, the source suggests that it appears to be an injury. Wrestlelamia will continue monitoring this story. Is Nick Khan selling his TKO-Holdings stock? Interesting corporate news as WWE President Nick Khan is listing all of his TKO-Holdings stock, a move which could lead to Khan unloading it all in a sale. SE Scoops is reporting Khan plans to sell his entire stake of 234,424 shares, including restricted stock units he has accumulated over time. Despite these sales, Khan will continue in his current role at the company, as confirmed by a source familiar with the transaction who wished to remain anonymous and was not authorized to speak publicly on his behalf. As the report notes, the listing doesn't mean the share will sell, but in the corporate world, such filings typically precede the actual sale of the shares soon after. WWE Draft Results. Night 1 is over, and rather than list the draft results, which mostly saw Raw and Smackdown superstars drafted to remain on their original brands, Wrestlelamia will note which wrestlers moved. Raw: Braun Breaker, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, Kiana James. Smackdown: Baron Corbin, Nia Jax, Andrade. While there has been talk of major moves between the main roster and NXT, the only move from NXT is former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion Kiana James. Roman Reigns withdraws from the draft. Shocking news on SmackDown as Paul Heyman announced that Roman Reigns had withdrawn from the 2024 draft and that Reigns would not be returning to WWE in the immediate future. This was arguably the only significant surprise in the draft, and fans are curious whether this is storyline related, a kayfabe way of covering up an extended absence caused by real-life events, or a combination of things. Unfortunately, there has been zero news on what led to this move. Storyline-wise, it's a good way to keep Reigns off TV, as he was already expected to take time off for his usual post-Mania vacation, and he has a role in an upcoming Eddie Murphy film. How big a role remains a mystery. Tony Khan's latest attack on WWE. AEW president Tony Khan didn't pass on the publicity he had by appearing at the NFL draft during his famous father Shad Khan's participation in drafting players for his NFL team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony spoke with the NFL Network about the NFL draft and AEW's battles with WWE. AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years. We're the most successful sports startup since the AFL pre-merger. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW in many years. We're like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. We're up against an evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE is like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. I'm really proud of what we do down here. Rumor has it that the NFL was happy to capitalize on the viral video of Tony wearing his neck brace during the draft to sell his injury at the hands of the Young Bucks on Wednesday's Dynamite. Spoiler: new champion revealed. Spoilers abound for the WWE's new Speed Championship, so skip to the next story if you want to be surprised by the new champion's identity. The WWE has finished taping the final match in the 8-man tournament to crown the first ever Speed Champion. Ringside News' Subhajit Mukherjee is reporting on the tournament's last few matches. This special match, set to air on X or Twitter in the next few weeks, is part of the latest edition of WWE Speed. It will showcase Ricochet's semi-final win over JD McDonough, along with Gargano's victory over Reed. Fans will likely see the final match broadcast about a week later, with Ricochet emerging as the inaugural Speed Champion. What do you think about the WWE Speed program? Do you have any interest in watching it? Did CM Punk lobby for AEW to fire Colt Cabana? Did CM Punk ask AEW to fire Colt Cabana? Punk and Cabana were once close friends, but became enemies in real life, leading to a potentially awkward situation when Punk joined AEW, where Cabana had already been employed. There were rumors that Punk might ask for Cabana to be sent packing, but that didn't happen. Nevertheless, there were rumors that AEW did its best to keep Punk and Cabana, who was working in Ring of Honor, apart. Now, a new report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter states that Punk wanted Cabana gone. The Observer story cites an anonymous source who claims, "I know there will be a lot of continued discussion about the whole situation with Punk AEW this week, and I just wanted to reach out to give you a perspective and what is ultimately only my opinion. I don't think this entire issue with Punk will be over until AEW and Tony could be truthful that Punk did indeed demand Colt to be fired for no other reason than their previous personal issues. Until AEW can admit that story was true, no one can feel safe to defend themselves in any way. The claim is too detailed to cover in a news video, but raises questions about what happened behind the scenes. An anonymous source and one who states, 'This is only my opinion,' may not seem like a reliable source, so, as always, Wrestlelamia will leave it up to you to decide." Good news for Dominik Mysterio. Good news for Dirty Dominik Mysterio is that he won't need surgery for a recent injury. There was cause for concern after Dave Meltzer reported in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that Dominik Mysterio also had an elbow injury. It apparently happened in a 415 match with Andrade and was described to us as a freak accident. He will be undergoing Tommy John surgery on his elbow, which for a baseball pitcher means at least 9 months out. Since he doesn't have to throw pitches hard, his recovery time would probably be a little shorter. As of right now, the plan would be to keep him as a television character while recovering. He was off the European tour and had his arm in a sling on Raw. However, Mysterio tweeted, "No surgery for this guy." No word on when Dirty Dom will be back in action, but Wrestlelamia sends him its best wishes for a fast and full recovery. Chris Benoit mentioned in the WWE Draft. Last but not least, Chris Benoit's name hasn't been forgotten by WWE fans, and apparently one fan in particular shouted Benoit's name during the WWE Draft. Triple H announced the final pick of the first round. Raw selects when a fan shouted Chris Benoit. All Wrestlelamia can say is that fans are gonna fan. Well guys, there you have it, Wrestlemania's look at the 26th April edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.